But it's not for any type of racism or anything like that. I just think he's just on some fuckery. I mean, I think he's status quo. If you're going to accept the fact that America itself is fundamentally racist, then and Trump is Make America Great Again, then he's systematically racist. Let me just put it that way. I don't think Trump is like overtly KKK racist. He just down. He wants to push forward what we've been doing, and as a black person, it's just like, okay, well, I can understand why black people will call him racist. Myself personally, this is gonna sound real bad, bro. This is gonna sound bad.
Go ahead.
It's gonna sound bad, but and it's kind of fucked up because of my work background. But I mean, I just fundamentally think America's never gonna change.
Okay.
So I don't take the shit personally. Like, I'm not against Trump because I don't take the shit personally. I'm like, okay, America's fucking racist. I got it, but at least I'm learning, and I'm historically savvy. I'm just gonna learn how to navigate the shit and get my runaway slave on and get the fuck out. I think a lot of people a lot of us, who just aren't trying to leave, who they somehow have fooled themselves into thinking that shit's gonna get better. They don't like Trump because Trump is trying to maintain the status quo and trying to make the status quo stronger.
Well, what? So, wait. We gotta unpack that. What do you mean he's trying to maintain the status quo? What does that mean?
I mean, he's gonna strengthen corporations and strengthen the capitalist economy as it is, and that fundamentally capitalism fundamentally states that there's going to be an upper class, there's going to be a lower middle class, there's going to be a lower class, and unless something drastically changes with black Americans were brought here to be the lower class, that's not going to change. And it's not going to change, one, because even with the Civil War, ultimately, the Reconstruction and Jim Crow era came out of that, where basically the slaves were free, but then the North was like, had to make concessions to the South to basically still keep black people undermined. And that's going to be the same thing where you're talking about, even if you go to a pure capitalist structure with corporations, I mean, black America just doesn't have the financial capital to compete in a pure capitalist society. We don't have the human capital, we don't have the financial capital, and we don't have the physical land capital to ever not be the lowest class in the United States. I mean, that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have the people. That's why, like you said earlier, we're getting surpassed by the Latinos that are, the influx of Latinos and immigrants, because those numbers are growing and we are not.
Mm-hmm.
So in that particular case, that's why a lot of black people vote Democrat, because they want to fundamentally change the system to allow more upward mobility. Whereas, the way Trump is coming in and trying to strengthen the United States, because the United States has more problems financially other than pure racism, the Republican Party are going to address those problems before they address the race problem. So it's funny, kind of circling back to what we were talking about earlier when I was talking about, I was telling you before this conversation that, some of the guys I listen to on YouTube now, both Dr. Umar Johnson and BGS and Green Gorilla, all talk about the Turner Commission.
Mm-hmm.
And, Dr. Umar made a good point. I think it might have been it wasn't in that same podcast I was talking about earlier, but he was just talking about, why haven't black people brought the Democratic Party to task? I know what it was. Dr. Umar was talking about MLK. It was a video he did about Black America post MLK. I think that was the name of the video. And he was talking about how the Kerner Commission came out just like a year before Dr. King, or like right when Dr. King was assassinated. And he said it. The Kerner Commission basically said, racism is the problem in the United States when it comes to black people, and that's an official U.S. government sanctioned by the Lyndon B. Johnson at the time, I can't remember who it was, and they swept it under the rug, and they never wanted to address the results of the Kerner Commission. bros. They want the upward mobile black men to go overseas and find foreign wives. They want the black women to either die off or marry white boys. They pushing the vice president and the new Supreme Court justice and all these other what's the lady from Minnesota, the senator. All of these, you're starting to see all of these black women in Washington D.C. popping up with these white husbands.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of rewinds back to your girl Kerry Washington and Scandal and all of that stuff. They basically want black people to mix ourselves up out of here.
Right.
And then the rest of us just die off. And that's probably what's going to happen. That's probably what's going to happen, man. So.
All right. Well, let me go back to Trump once again. I'm not deluded in the aspect that, yeah, I know Trump is a rich white man, and he's going to cover his ass and cover all his bases, you know what I mean, with his constituents and people who are in corporations. But he's not so in the hip pocket of corporations that he hasn't been shielded from smear campaigns and scandals, you know what I mean? So he's not necessarily a Republican, he's not necessarily a Democrat, he's obviously a moderate. And he doesn't want to kill the goose that laid the golden egg, which is America. Right. America is, a money-making machine. And he sees the globalists trying to come over here and basically destroy that. You know what I mean? So the thing is, no one can actually really show me or tell me where he has done anything racist as far as his policies. You know what I mean? And he only had 4 years. He didn't even have 4 years to try and do it. You know, he maybe had 2 years, before this, 3 years before COVID popped up and derailed everything, because everything was chugging along just fine. I couldn't believe what I was seeing out here in the streets, man. All these females was eating. They was getting good jobs, and you know what I'm saying? The taxes was low, or I was getting more money, more bang for my buck with my taxes. There was no war overseas. He was putting money in HBCU's pockets. He was getting brothers out of prison and out of jail. He was willing to sit down with Ice Cube and holler at him about his platinum plan. It was all sorts of cool shit going on, but niggas was still, I hate Trump. I'm like, what the fuck you niggas want, man? I'm like, damn, he
well, they want him. You just hit it though, man.
What's up?
Right when you first started talking about is that he's gonna cover down for his constituents. People are always gonna look at not only that person, but they're gonna look at the people that surround that person.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the end of the day, Trump's problem is, he is caught in that. Well, I'm not even gonna say he's caught because he might want to be there. We don't know. We don't know. We really don't know the man, but we do know that the people who vote for him are racist, are generally racist.
Right.
So, it's just that old thing. It's just like, yo, if your homeboy did me wrong, you can't, and you still standing with that nigga, then I can't fuck with you. Now, you know what I'm saying? It's like that. It's like your brother, it's like Mike, your brother stole $500 from me.
Mm-hmm.
And you like, all right, I'm going to go talk to him. And then I don't get my $500 back or whatever, but you still riding tough with him. I'm like, well, now I got to keep you at arm's length because you bringing that nigga around. And I already know that nigga is going to steal from me.
No,
that's really what it is, man. It's the company he keeps.
No, I don't think it's the company he keep, because he ain't keeping that company. You know what I mean? Two things can be right at the same time. You can have a racist that loves America and wants to actually have good paying jobs and low taxes and actually wants to be able to raise his children, and a black nationalist can want the same thing as well. So you can have a black nationalist as well as a white nationalist looking at Trump saying, I want to keep my money, I want low taxes, I want to be able to raise my children the way I want to raise them. You know what I mean? And they all understand that the globalist is anti all of that. So I've always used the analogy. I've always used the analogy of everybody on a boat. The boat is about to sink, black and white as well. Black racists and white racists, and they like, hey, we gotta work together, or we gonna sink and we gonna drown in the sea. You know what I mean? So I recommend that you grab this pail, you grab this oar. Let's work together to save this sinking ship. The sinking ship is America. everybody that's on this ship, white, black, or whatever, you're being forced to work together in order to stop the ship from sinking. We can go ahead and hate each other after we reach the port or after we reach the beach, but for right now, we got to make sure that this ship stays afloat. You know what I mean? And so that's the problem that Trump has. Trump has a problem where the white nationalists, they want to, like I said, they want their freedom. Most white boys that's in that white nationalist movement, they're all about that freedom. So, I mean, I don't see no problem with that.
Well, you got some of those, because historically we know that the Nation of Islam has cut deals with the KKK. So
Exactly.
There are black nationalists or there are white nationalists that work together, but then you got the Proud Boys and the motherfuckers on these walking around talking about blood and soil and doing Hitler salutes, and then Trump calling those people fine people. He can't do that.
No, he didn't do that though.
Analogy.
He didn't do that.
Using your analogy with the boat, right? Using your analogy with the boat.
Yeah.
There's more than one way to keep the boat from sinking. One way to keep the boat from sinking is everybody grab a pail and start throwing water out.
Right.
Because it's too much weight. It's too much weight.
Right.
Or the other way is the white people can start throwing the black people overboard to reduce the weight. You know what I'm saying? It's more than one way to save America. Like you said, they can depopulate, and they can start depopulating with the fucking people of color.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where Trump, like, people always say, if Trump just got up there and just denounced fucking racism, he'd be good money, but he won't do it.
See, that's where you wrong, man. That's where you wrong, man. I thought you was, come on, man. You ain't seen the many clips of him denouncing racism? It's about a YouTube clip that's about 40 minutes long of him denouncing racism. But you didn't see it because it's a blackout on it, because it's been censored.
Maybe.
Yeah, even though when and you was just talking about, he said there's many fine people on both sides. Yeah, they cut that short. They didn't even let you see where he said, and right after that he said, but I'm not talking about the racists. I'm not talking about the nationalists. Those are very bad people. I mean, he went ahead and denounced it right there in that speech, but they cut it right then and there to make just give him a bad look. And I'm just thinking, my God, man, brothers and sisters, they got to do more research on this shit and stop looking at legacy media.
But again, a lot of people say that whatever I don't know, man. It's just the way you word shit sometimes. You know what I mean?
Man, look.
Like, homie is a politician, man. He words shit to make everybody happy, but like we said, Trump is a moderate, man, and our society don't like moderation. They want you to fucking pick a side.
What I'm saying is, if no one can show me in his policies where he's a racist and he's a piece of shit, I'm just like, I'm wondering about someone's IQ. I'm like, look, you might be mad at some tweets, you might be mad that you don't have a particular personality or swag that he has, but what's his job performance? When he was in office, can you give me a brief synopsis, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, of his job performance when he was in office? Was it good or bad?
Mike, you gotta take it. You gotta remove yourself from the egotistical viewpoint, right? So from my egotistical viewpoint, meaning my self-centered viewpoint, Trump was good for me because I was on the winning side.
Right.
But not everybody was winning. So as a moderate, when you look at it from a non-egotistical standpoint, just look at it from everybody, from the holistic standpoint. When you're dealing with moderation means more of the same. Just like I said, status quo. So of course the people who are losing are going to make up whatever the fuck they want to make up to say that the moderate is on the other side. When really the moderate might be right smack dab in the middle, but if the moderate is winning and the winning people are like, we're going to keep it running this way, then the people who aren't coming up are going to think negatively if it's not moving in their direction. Meaning they don't want it to keep going straight. They want it to go left.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that Trump is far right. Trump might be standing in balance, but what's happening know, I mean, people are just gonna fight against that, man. I get it. I don't agree because I figured out the game. So I mean, you could call it low IQ or you could call it whatever. Those people have not figured out the game.
Right.
So they looking for somebody to blame. They gonna blame Trump.
Exactly. Yeah, but living in a capitalist society, you know, people are gonna lose. You're gonna have winners and losers. You ain't gonna get around that. Yeah. Regardless of who's in office. So, you know, my thing is like, bruh, I'm like, everybody is just tripping at, you know, it was funny, right? Because when I go to dialysis, you know what I mean? I got to sit in this chair for like 3 hours and listen to people drone on about this, that, and the third, man. And so it was hilarious when Trump was in office. That's all I heard. You know, these niggas was whining and bitching about Trump, man. Trump this, Trump that. And I'm like, wow, are y'all serious? I'm like, man, we doing good. We doing Gucci. Money is good. You know what I'm saying? But now that Biden's in office, it's crickets in there. Ain't nobody saying shit. It's like scandal after scandal. You know, he fucking up so bad. It's crazy, man. But if the media ain't covering it, it don't exist. You know what I mean? The media gave all these black folks their walking papers and put the battery in their back and said, yeah, Trump bad. Trump. So that's what niggas do. Niggas go out and parrot what they told by their oligarch masters via the liberal-led media, man. And I'm like, does anybody read? Does anybody do their own fucking research and shit? And it just trips me out because my relatives look at me like I'm crazy because it's like, I thought you was black power and black empowerment. And you was always talking about the black man is God. And you just on this Trump kick. I'm like, man, Trump wants you to get money, man. Like, how hard is this to comprehend? I'm like, money is how you get out of racism, man. You know, there ain't no white billionaires arguing with no black billionaires, man. They sitting on a yacht chilling, man. It's only the low-level niggas, man, the low-level white folks, you know, that's arguing about race and skin color and shit like that, man. Like, y'all better get some money. And Trump was, man, I'm trying to tell you, they had to get that nigga out of office. Because the first rule of the pimping is to always keep your hoes broke. As far as government is concerned, the civilian is the hoe. In order to maintain control of their hoes, they can't give you too much money to work with, man. They got to keep you on that grind. You know what I mean? So that's all I wanted to say, man. It's like, y'all just slack up.
Well, I'm gonna disagree there, though.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna disagree.
Go ahead.
Because, well, I'm gonna agree, but I'm gonna disagree. How can I say this? I don't agree with you saying that Trump wanted the people to get money. I agree with that Trump wanted people to work. You gotta grind to get money, right? Right. But what ends up happening, what we've seen historically, globally, around the world, is there's always a fight between. There's always a balancing act between capitalism, socialism, and communism. Right. And we've seen even in our own nation, in the United States, and in the civil rights struggle. I mean, you talk about the Black Panther Party, it's a communist organization. Many of the Black Power movements are communist organizations. Even when you're talking about the Nation of Islam, it has a social, communal aspect to it. Right. I believe, and that you know, that back and forth is human nature, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody, it goes beyond the United States. That's all over the world. There's always going to be a balance of people saying, am I working too much? Am I getting the returns that I am supposed to get from the community for the amount of work that I put in? And that's where the arguments come. You know, the circular argument goes on in perpetuity between communism. Okay, am I getting what I'm supposed to get? I'm doing too much work and I'm not getting enough. So maybe we should be more communal. Versus, I'm in communism. I'm busting my ass. I got a glass ceiling, so now I prefer capitalism. And people seesaw back and forth, even in the span of their own life, right? Mm-hmm. Some people will grow up Democratic, and then when they come up and they get some money, then they be like, oh shit, I'm switching Republican because I need to keep some more of this money in my pocket. Right. So, I believe when it comes to that, they had to get Trump up out of here because if you educate the people too much, and start understanding what they need to do to achieve their goals, then they will start actually working harder to achieve their goals.
Mm-hmm.
Working hard is not what scares the status quo. Working hard with a purpose is what scares the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's why there's always this seesaw between Republican and Democratic with the United States, because both parties, when you're talking about the powers that be, they don't want it to go too hard in either direction, because if it goes too hard in either direction, that will destroy the status quo. Mm-hmm. That will destroy the people at the top. Whether if you're too communal and everybody loves each other and everybody is far left and there's free love everywhere, then everybody will equal out, and then there's no 1%. Now, and then if you go too far to the right, where the rich have all the power and they keep everybody oppressed, one or two things are going to happen. Either you're going to have a uprising and they're going to kill everybody off, or the people are just going to die off, and then you don't have anybody to rule over.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you're going to lose, once you don't have anybody to do work for you, then you're going to lose your wealth again. So, there's always a balancing act, man. There's always a balancing act, and I think that's what Trump represents, balance, man. And I think that's why he's getting it right now. He's getting it from both sides.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he wants you to get money. I think he wants you to get money because he's a capitalist, and if ain't nobody got no money, can't nobody spend no money in his resorts or his hotels or his casinos and all that shit. He wants you to get money, man. So, hey, but I totally understand and agree with you with him getting it from both sides, man. The Democrats and the Republicans.
That's what I'm saying, though. If people are getting money, look at what's happened since Trump has been out of office, or in the tail end. I guess COVID kind of put pause on everything.
Mm-hmm.
But look at what's been happening, man. They can't keep nobody employed because motherfuckers don't want to take no jobs. Motherfuckers is demanding higher pay. Motherfuckers is working from home. They ain't trying to go in the office. Why? Because Trump put a lot of money in a lot of people's pockets where now they can make decisions and tell these jobs to fuck off. And now the economy is collapsing because of that. So, like you said, yeah, Trump wants people to get money, but at the same time, man, a fool with a lot of money in his pocket can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily.
And I think that's what we're going through now in this current economy, man. You got all these companies like, we can't find nobody. Then they hire motherfuckers. Motherfuckers is doing half-ass work, quiet quitting, just taking checks, don't give a fuck.
Mm.
You got other people who, the hustlers. I know motherfuckers that's holding 2-3 remote jobs. I got friends that's getting like $400-500, holding 3 different jobs, but they only doing like 30% of the work at all 3 jobs. But the companies, can't force nothing out of them like they used to. So, Americans in general, man, Trump has puts the money in people's pocket, but a lot of people, when they get that money, it's just like they hit the lot. Like a motherfucker who hit the lottery and go broke within 5 years. Like they just get this fucking attitude, and that's not good for the entire.
I'm not
good for the community.
I'm not talking about the COVID checks, man. I'm talking about when he was actually creating jobs. That's what I'm talking
about. I'm saying.
No, but people are not tripping about him creating the jobs. They was tripping about getting the free money because they seen that. They were like, well, if I'm getting free money, why the hell would I want to go and work? That's a COVID thing. That's not a Trump thing. Because all the Democrats got together, all the Democrats and Republicans got together and said, we're going to start getting people geared up to take this universal basic income. That's what that is dog training. You know what I mean? Trump was actually building up industry. He was actually trying to bring industry back to the United States, and they had to put a pause on that shit. So in my conspiracy theory mind, I'm like, well, that's when they went ahead and they so-called released the virus to derail all of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
But you can't do UBI unless you got somebody working, though. Everybody can't quit.
No, everybody can't quit. Like I said, they gotta have just enough people to just keep the machine rolling You know what I mean? Just enough people. I mean, Hunger Games style. If you've seen Hunger Games, that's what they're trying to do. Keep there's not going to be no middle class. It's just going to be, the super rich and the dirt poor.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's facts.
That's what they're trying to do.
Cause I was looking around, man, like the current climate in black tech, man. Just like you got all these recruiters like, we can't find no black talent. We can't find black talent. And I'm looking around, I got half people talking about they can't find jobs, and then I got other partners like, dog, even me.
Right.
Like, my phone don't stop ringing from fucking recruiters.
Wow.
So, like you said, it ain't gonna be no middle class, man. It's gonna be the motherfuckers who got talent and work ethic. They gonna get money.
Right.
And then everybody else gonna be sitting around getting a check. And the funny thing about COVID, which is so wild, COVID has really, COVID really forced people to change their spending habits and change their communal habits, bring people closer. So now people are living off of less too. People are kind of adjusting to a lower level of living, which would, honestly, now that you bring it up, that actually works in the favor of UBI.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, now you learn how to live on a little bit less. Okay, now we can bring you this UBI at a lower number.
True.
So, yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Hell yeah. Well, damn, check it out, man. I got a hot date, man, about to come in here about in 30 minutes, so I got to get ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To do my thug thizzle. You know how we do it, man. Shoot, Big Mike crippled, and I'm on dialysis, but I'm still getting it in. Still getting it in, player. Man, I finally got the Punisher back on track, man. I finally got him on here, to spit and say a little something, say what's up to the crew. Man, don't be dodging me, man. Man, when I say, hey, man,
I'm finally on Eastern Standard Time. That's why, me, I'm always 6, 7, 8 hours ahead of your ass. That's why you can't never get me.
I'm like, this motherfucker said, yeah, call me back and such and such, I'll be ready. Call him back, man, that should be ringing. I'm like, that nigga sleep. I'm like, this smug, man. And so I figured I had to trick you this time. I'll be like, I got a trick for his ass. I ain't even gonna let him off the phone until we do his show. That's what I'm gonna do. But man, hey, appreciate you, man. Chiming in. Appreciate you looking after me, man, when I was going through my situation in the hospital and all that, man.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Matter of fact, much love and respect to all the players that looked out for me and donated to the cause, man. Man, I love you, man. Appreciate y'all, man. So you got any last words, man, for the crew before I bounce?
Man, that's really it, man. Just everybody, keep studying, keep your head up, man. It's opportunities out here, and get on the plane if you can get on the plane, get your stress relief out. Get a different perspective on the world. Get out of the echo chambers on YouTube, and kind of spread your mind out a little bit and kind of see what's out there, man. A lot of us can get caught in these echo chambers and the egos and. I've really pulled way back from the internet in general, but definitely from social media. Just to, get out, man. Get out and talk to real people, man.
Right.
A lot of motherfuckers, y'all get in these circles and then believe that everybody is, YouTube will make a lot of people seem like everybody.
Okay.
It could be, even when you're looking at like the manosphere and stuff like that, a lot of these cats, man, they throw out these names. Even when I was listening to you and Tony show the other day, like y'all was throwing out these YouTuber names and throwing out these platforms. What's that platform you say Tony is on? I don't even know what that shit
Clubhouse.
is. Called?
Clubhouse.
I don't even know what that shit is, man.
Right.
But what I'm saying is you can have these YouTubers and this stuff, man, and these people, and when you step back and look at it, it's probably only a good 50, 60 people that's making all this content, but then the cat's getting to thinking that that's the entire world, man. It's not. You gotta step away from this stuff, man. And that's, I was telling you, I listen to Green Gorilla a lot. That's one of the things he does, man. He'll go on an upload spree for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then he won't upload shit for like 3 weeks, because he himself will say, I gotta step away from this shit, man, because this shit is not healthy. It's not.
Right.
Giving motherfuckers all your money on fucking just to see a super chat pop up for a couple of seconds, then stop doing that shit.
Ooh, wait. Dang.
You guys need to stop doing that shit, man.
Ooh,
like, you work too hard for your money, man. If you want to be somebody Patreon and throw in something once a month, that's cool. But getting on these super chats and donating $100 here and $100 on Monday and $100 on Thursday, man, fuck all that.
Ooh.
Just to see some words pop up on the screen. It's not real life.
Okay. All right, then. Well, shit, we gonna leave it.
I know I can make the people mad, though. I'm sorry.
Well, hey, that's what the Punisher is for. I don't bring you on here to play patty cake. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, you got the Punisher nigga, man. Yeah, that's what I got you here for, man. You gonna say some things that's, not gonna necessarily be palatable. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But once again, appreciate you, man. And I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna jump on off here, handle this business right quick, and we out.
Yeah.
All right.
I can outthink you, and I can out-philosophize you, and I'm gonna outlast you.